chopper marines here know it's a race against time.
Society as a whole has to think about the nature of these challenges in the future and embed people's ideas at the lowest levels of society into the process of preparing for the future.
Inshore lifeboat crews were joined by an assortment of craft to help in the rescue effort.
The question is, how do you introduce into people's thinking and acceptance the fact that we have to take the risk, we have to try to see what we can do so that when it does occur, if it in fact occurs, we haven't just been waiting for it, we've been active in our response to try and mitigate or reduce the potential.
Classically, we're historically an industry and a sector that responds well. We've learned how to provide effective responses to disasters, but we have never been brought up in a culture of preparing ourselves for the type of disasters that are going to be coming our way.
By habit, this is a sector that still continues to react instead of look to the future.
All across the country, the race is on to prevent a nuclear meltdown in the middle of a horrifying natural disaster.
Governments must use this opportunity to anticipate and finally step up to the plate of better planning so that they may be able to know when it is that a disaster is going to strike them.
This catastrophe was completely preventable.
When I think of how the traditional Westerners in the humanitarian fold have to adapt to the new players, like say China, for example, Brazil, perhaps even India, I think we have to imagine a cocktail of cultures and approaches.
Increasingly, governments in India and China and Vietnam and Bangladesh are more than capable of responding to emergencies within their own countries and will manage those responses.
Not only just the Chinese that are sending aid, but the Asian countries are actually among themselves sending aid to these countries.
Increasingly, they will also become actors in responding to emergencies in other parts of the world, in Africa and Latin America. For us to be relevant, we, the more traditional humanitarian players, need to be able to engage with and provide relevant solutions to these other actors.
I think the other thing that will happen, the black swan events, the events that will shock the system into doing new ways of doing things. And when I say the system, I don't just mean the humanitarian community. The entire international community needs to be mobilised around the idea of vulnerability.
Citizens all over the world, and definitely in my home Africa, are realizing more and more that the delivery on their rights are linked to the pressure that they will be enacting on their governors.
When the catastrophe hits, we have to see that as an opportunity to say we could have been thinking about this differently. We could have anticipated this, we could have mitigated this, we could have engaged with this better.